The Aesthetics of Leadership podcast, the look of leadership that is unmistakable. And greetings from across the pond.
Greetings from Dublin.
Man, thank you so much for saying yes to being on the podcast. What an
You're very
absolute privilege.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel honored to be here.
Well,
How is
this is
things?
well, I love the power of social media that it can connect two strangers around a central theme of growth, of transformation, of leadership, of brotherhood. I love connecting with people I don't know because what I
Yeah.
do know is there is a great story behind the images we see on social media. So I'm so thankful you said yes because I feel like you have an amazing story and I'd love to know how a gentleman from, I believe it was Ibatiba, Brazil, makes it all the way to
Yeah,
Dublin,
it is.
Ireland. What a story.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm originally from a small town, actually, from a farm in a small town to make it even. I'm really a country boy. Then I made it to the capital to go to university, and here I am years later in Dublin, Europe. Something that I never thought it would happen, and it happened.
Wow. So how do you I saw in one of your posts that you love tractors. I grew up on a farm as well, so I totally appreciate all the values and the experiences of growing up on a farm really create good values and character in the man as he grows up. Tell me about growing up on a farm in a small town in Brazil and the family values that shaped who you are.
Ooh, there's so much to go through. Oh, a lot of things. I would say what helped the most to build like strong values for life is my family. They they had to work so hard to make their business to work and to grow their family because I have three siblings and yeah, so it's quite of a big family and both my dad and my mom comes from big families and they are the first ones from each of the parts, like the oldest, and they grow up like I need to find my way in life, build my life with my kids, and as happened to them to be farmers. My father, he was from the city, but my mom is from the farm. So when they married, she made up his mind to move back to the countryside to build a life because she couldn't get used to the lifestyle in a city. It was like it was too busy. She was not having it, and she made up his mind. And he made it. He was so in love. They were so
Smart
in love
man.
with.
Smart man. Follow your wife. Yes.
Yeah, he says that he was like, I fell in love with her mom, and to be with her, I had to change things, and he did. He changed. He even changed his aesthetics because he had long hair. He got it short. Yeah, I have seen the pictures from when he was younger with long hair. A very his style was very like on the 70s with their very colorful clothing. Um, and nowadays he's really a farmer. When you look at him, you see like, is he really the same person? Like the oldie and the farmer today, are they the same person? But well, I think since they have to do so much, work so hard, they taught us since young that life is not easy. You have to fight for what you want and go for it because nobody's going to be there helping you all the time. There will be people to give you support or to be your mentor during a period of time. But if you don't focus on what you aim for and you fight for it, you will not reach to what you want.
Mm.
So it was taught since young. Even though I didn't want to be in the farm, I wanted since young to leave, to have my own career and to try things my way. They didn't want that because they were like, we have been working so much to build all the business, and now you are leaving. I was like, well, I have to, right? To
So
build the
is
career
that
that I
is that
love.
typical in the Brazilian culture that the children stay with the family business?
It depends, but it happens very often. Like usually, like the older kid take over the business, and the others might stay in the business as well. But of course, there are so many other ways, like different. My mom has how many siblings? I think six siblings. There are six. So she's the only one that is still a farmer from the girls, and the three men, ooh, yeah, all of them are farmers as well.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of half of the family not farmers anymore, half of the family, the other half is still as farmers.
Yeah, of your siblings, how many stayed and how many traveled away?
All of them, the three of them, they are still there.
Wow. Okay, so that's an interesting story. Why do you go by Ralph or Raphael?
My name is Rafael, but you can call me Rolf.
Well, I want to be respectful. Raphael, why you? Why the difference? Why the exit? What was the tipping point for you?
Well, I never felt that I was in the right place. Like it didn't match my personality. It didn't match my um, my goals for life. I was really not meant to be a farmer. I would love to have like a small farm, but it's just like that feel like vacations. You go to a farm to relax, not to see it as your business because it's hard work. I know every kind of work is hard work, but it's like you have to work. It's full time.
Right.
It's your business full time. You have to be there the whole time. And I never thought that it was for me. I
Mm.
always thought I can do something different. I can have my career and I can have it like internationally. I have to go out of Brazil and try it abroad. And yeah,
Well, yeah, clearly you arrived, right? I'm curious, how old were you when you recognized that your vision what was outside of the family farm environment and that you knew exactly what you wanted to do? Or was it exact, or was it just kind of a general vision that, well, I know it's not here, so it must be there?
so I think I was a teenager, like 16 years old. I was about to finish my primary school, and I was like, I need to figure out what I want for life, and I know I don't want to continue in the farm. I have to leave the farm and try life on my own when I was, yeah, 16 years old, something like this. Yeah,
Okay.
16, because at 17 I was already living.
Oh, serious. So you
Yeah.
left what I would say here in the United States, 18 is kind of that break point between childhood and adult. You left early. What was the pull that brought you overseas from Brazil?
Overseas happened 3 years ago, so
Oh,
it was
okay.
not really
Okay.
planned at that
Got
time.
it. Got it.
First, I was trying to figure out, I know I don't want to be in the farm, and I don't want to build a career as a farmer. So I have to find my way. At that time, I didn't have like when you have someone out of your family that kind of works as a mentor for you, like someone that has more of life to tell you. Life is not just what your family show you. You have so many options. And since I was raised in a farm, I didn't have much of um expectatives. I didn't have much what to know about life out of the farm. I didn't know exactly what was my options. So then I was like, if I continue studying, I do have the lectures and they have been studying different cities. They might know much more, and I can get this information from them, and that will happen. When I was finished primary school, I don't know if in the US it's primary school before college. It's the same thing.
Yeah, we call it um, grade school and high school before college. So yeah.
Okay, it will be, yeah, I was finishing high school and I needed to figure out, oh, I'm going to university. So which one, what I'm going to do. And I decided to take a technological course. It's like something in between high school and university. It's like a technical course that you take for 1, 2 years. So I took it for 2 years. I finished and got graduated as an environment tech, environment technical, something like this. Was it? Yeah. But I didn't want to work with it when I graduated. I found it so boring, and I was like, yeah, I think I have learned a lot in this period of 2 years. It was the first time that I got a job out of the farm that I could like have a office situation of a different kind of work. I had to deal with customers, I had to deal with projects, and then at that time I was figuring out, okay, this works for me, but that doesn't. And I was trying to match what was the best for me and avoid what I didn't want to. In that meantime, I figured out I like math, mathematics, and physics. A engineer works with both of them and a little more. So let's try something related to mechanical engineering. And I was searching how is the profession, um, what would I have to do together. I applied to a scholarship that we have in Brazil, and I got it, but I had to move to the capital. So there was I moving alone, all alone, to the capital, a foreign boy to the capital to do engineering.
Wow. Wow. What were so, as a teenager and being in such transition of environments, tell me about the fear versus excitement versus identity. How did you manage all of those emotions leaving the family unit, which was your identity, to being a solo traveler and journeyer, excitement, fear? Can you go back to that moment?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I can do that. It was really that mix, but I was so excited to try something new and to really see myself without the influence of my family or people that I have grown up together. So I was like, okay, I'm really afraid of it. I'm going to be on my own now, but it's the best moment to figure it out what what is best for me and who I am, like the real me. It was exactly that time that I could open doors to get to know more about my my goals for the future, about my profession, about even sexuality and things like this. So even though I was really afraid of that, I took the opportunity to live it. I was still afraid, but I was like, I have to go through it and I'm going to do it. And I don't know how, but I'm going to push myself to leave this situation and continue that because now is going to be my journey on my own. My family is back there. They are still there and they will always be there. So if I need them, I can just reach out and there you go. But since then, here I am working on my own.
Wow. So that's a superpower, Raphael. I mean, why do you think most men hesitate instead of maybe being courageous? Why is the fear so much heavier than the excitement for a lot of men, and it holds them back so they actually don't take the risk? What what was it about you that helped you keep the excitement high and the fear low so that you could go? I guess that's the question.
Well, I would say sometimes it's more like related to their personality. Like it kind of holds them back if they are the kind of person that needs the family close to them. You know, those kind of people that really are attached to the family. I do love my family, but I'm really not attached to them, you know? So I
Sure.
think it was easier for me to just try things on my own because I was already not really attached and I needed to have my stuff. And other thing that kind of maybe hold people back when they are afraid of something new is when they are already in a situation they are comfortable. If they leave a situation that they are comfortable and they go like, oh, I can continue the situation that I am in. Slowly I work with something else, another thing, and start doing things, but always around that comfort zone. Some people end up they end up stuck in this situation of being always in this comfort zone in that bubble. And to reach to great things, we have to like pop this bubble and leave. We can do much more, right? We have to leave the comfort zone, even though it hurts and we are afraid of it, to get something bigger and better, right? That's what I
Yeah,
think.
that is so true. So true. So I guess my curiosity then, Raphael, is I think a lot of men today, and remind me, how old are you, Raphael?
Quarantine 30 years old.
30 years old. So men of your generation, below you and above you, have
Yeah,
grown up with technology as an influence.
true.
And that might be their attachment and their comfort that keeps them from growing. Um, I'm I'm curious how technology and I guess social media, if we'll go ahead and throw that in there. Did you have access to a lot of social media in Brazil growing up on a farm that helped shape your identity? Or was it not present enough for it to really be a distraction from where you wanted to go?
Yeah, you're right about that. I didn't have any contact to internet or this technological device until I was 17 years old when I
Okay.
started my like when I finished my high school. The only technological thing that I had was my computer at that time, but I didn't have connection to the internet because I was in the farm, right? I only had internet when I was in town and for
Hmm.
1 hour once a week.
Wow,
So
incredible.
it was, yeah, it was always like, oh, I have some schoolwork. So I would go to the city to that, we call it land house in Brazil. Is where you like that internet shop, internet coffee shop, something
Yep.
like this, right? You go there, you pay for a few hours to use the internet. That was I had what I had to do when I was younger before going to college. Then when I was in university, I was living on my own. I had to buy like a proper laptop. I had to get like internet to my apartment. And then it started this connection with the virtual world. But I was still so focused on my studies that I was basically using my computer and my cell phone to get my studies done and communication. Social media was not that big at that time. We're talking about like 2014. It was starting to be big, but back in Brazil, it was not that huge. Instagram was not that big, but YouTube was something that was getting bigger and bigger
Hmm.
and bigger. So at that time, I started with Instagram, and since then, it has been like growing and growing in a way that I didn't even know how. I was not an influencer at that time. I never thought of becoming a social media influencer. And actually, it happened now. It's new that I'm working on social medias as a influencer, as a digital creator. Because back then, it was just my regular life, posting things randomly, like nice pictures or videos with my friends of my trips. And yeah, and now I'm working a little bit more on communicating on the internet.
Yeah, I think that that's fascinating that you had a set of core values instilled in you at a young age, family values, hard work, dedication, farm kind of family values that I guess maybe programmed your hero's journey. You weren't distracted with social media and other people's influence. It was really your family and the core values that you shared created the young Raphael hero that was ready to leave the family and go on the journey. I think that's beautiful and brilliant that technology did not um, impair. I don't know if that's the right word, impair your development as a young, strong man with family values. It just feels very authentic and pure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of
I respect
it
that.
built up like so it built a strong values in my life that I still have then I'm going to have then all my life. All the way. It's
Yeah,
going to be with me for until I die. So
yeah, yeah.
it
That's so
built up
beautiful.
really strong characteristics of my personality that they cannot be taken away. And I'm
Yeah,
very proud of
that's
it because
beautiful.
so
Yes.
many things that I have done until now was because of that values. Because I had when I was in college, I had internet, social medias, but I didn't let them take over and take my time because I had my goals and I know how difficult and hard it was to reach to where I wanted to be.
Mhm.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Raphael, you mentioned another word that has significant meaning for me, and that is mentorship. Tell me about how you found, how you selected, and how you worked with mentors. I think I think I think we need mentorship in our
It's
lives,
true.
and I'm curious how you curated your relationships with your mentors.
Yeah, when I went to college, even before, it happened before, when I finished high school, I was in a situation that I want to know more about the world, but I'm stuck in a small town in a farm with my parents, and the only people that I know is the same people that live here has been living here for years. So they don't really have so much knowledge about the world and how the world is developing. Because think with me, you are in a small town in a third in a country that is not that developed. So we already have the situation that when technology reached to that town, is already so delayed. Like Europe is years ahead of my town at that time because now is since the internet took over all the world, social media took all the world. We are not so delayed anymore. So even my small town has grown so much, and people now they have more opportunities to to see more of the world and know what they can build for the future. But at that time, I didn't have the situation, so I had to find my ways to reach out to people that know a little bit more of life and progression on their career. And I was like, I need to find from my teachers on school or from someone that is an engineer that is working in town or someone that knows a little bit more and is outside of my circle. So then when I moved to the capital and I was all alone, I needed to build network. I had to make my own network with people that I have never seen in my life. So I had to make friends not only in my class, but different classes in the university. I had to be closer to those lecturers that I would see them as the best people to teach me something for life. You know that lecture from a subject that you are not that great? That's like, oh, I'm not that great in this subject, but your teacher is very tough. Like they want you to learn that, and they don't want you to keep your bare minimum. They want you to give you all. You have to keep all of you to learn that. So those are the lectures that I was like, I want to get more from these people because they know well what they are doing and they can teach me much more than I even think of. I do remember I had a lecture. She was lecturing for us for 2 years on college. And at the end, she was like, I love the way you take your responsibilities in class. You are not there to show that you are the best of the class, but you are there to really learn. So even though she was tough, she was like, I want people to do what you do. Ask.
Mm,
Because people sometimes think, oh, I'm going to ask something that is stupid. No question is stupid. You have to answer. You have to ask if you don't understand that. So then you can understand the situation. There is maybe something that is missing that you need to aim for that small detail that you couldn't catch before. So if you ask, you might figure out, oh, that is what was missing. And if I haven't asked, I would never know. And that was one of the teachers that I was like, yeah, she knows a lot, and I want to learn more with her. And that's what I used to get my mentors from this situation that I was like, I like the way these people think, and I can learn much more with them. So I have to work on my network and get these people closer to me.
mm.
And that's how I made it.
Yeah, that's incredible. Did you experience fear in the ask? And maybe maybe it was fear of the potential rejection you would get or the no that you would get from the ask. How did you overcome that or keep the fear down so that it didn't get in your way?
Oh, it happened many times. Situations that I was very avoidant of asking, but then I reached to the point that I was like, I have to do that because if I don't push myself, I'm going to get stuck. And I didn't come all the way until here to get stuck. But
Mm.
I had my situation that I was afraid of asking, I was reluctant, but then I just overcome it. I just overcame it.
Yeah, what a growth mindset, Rafael. I mean, from the transformation from being together with family to being out on your own in the world. What a transformation from moving from a farm to a city, changing environments. What a transformation. And then eventually I know fitness is an important part of your world as well, and I'm curious about that transformation. And I think I already see the connections with the mindset that you already had. That a fitness transformation was a no-brainer for you. I mean, you put in the hard work, you apply your values to growing your body and mind, and then results happen. When did fitness come in as a priority for you? Was it your teenage years or was it later in life?
Um, Well, I would say it started when I was a teenager because I was always the is leanest. I was the smallest and the most is lean guy in class. And that was upsetting me. I was like, I do want to be bigger and more masculine. I wanted to grow muscles and have this aesthetic of a grown man. At that time, I was already a teenager and I felt like I was still looking like a kid. And I could see my classmates already looking like real men, adults. And I was like, I have to work on it. My genetics are not going to help on themselves. No, I have to commit to go to the gym and build it. I have always been very active because I was in the farm, so I always had my chores, so I had to work. But working in a farm can give you strength, but doesn't build your muscles. So I was like, I have to go to the gym. If I want to change my aesthetics, I had to put more effort on changing my diet, working out, and focus on my rest. And that's what I did. When I was 18 years old, I finished high school and I was already working. I had enough money to pay for the gym and I started working out. Then I moved to the capital. The capital is on the coast. So, of course, there was a beach. And there are so many good looking people with great body. And that, yeah, that was something that I was like, I do want to have the same aesthetic. I like it. I can do it. And I started working a little bit more, putting more effort. I was studying in the morning, working out in the afternoon. At that time, first year during college, I was just a student. I was not working. So I had a lot of time to working on myself, my mind, on my body, and that's what I did. And when I started seeing the results, I was like, wow, it's working out. It's paying off, and I like it. And I started challenging myself to see how far can I go with it,
Mm.
how bigger I can get, how aesthetic I can go. Would I be a bodybuilder? Would I look like a bodybuilder? Or I just want to look like uh, more is lean but muscular, like a model style. Then I had been all these years working on it. Like, I love the way I look, but I always try to, oh, there is something that I can work on, that I can try different workouts, or I don't know. I'm very happy with my body, but sometimes I feel like my lower body is not balanced with my upper body. So that's what continues me, keep me ongoing doing the workout. And during the period of university, since then, all all these years, I use the workout as a way to relieve stress
Mm,
or tension. Because back in the farm, I was used to work in the farm and stud. So my body was always used to have so much going on, to be moving. Then when I was on my own on at college, I used the workout to give this what's the name for it? Like how can I explain it? To give what was needed to my body to feel like I'm moving, I'm I continue the same thing that I have always done. Because I know if I stop working out for 1 week, I get so stressed that I cannot even recognize myself. I cannot stop working out because my body feels that it needs to move. It needs the challenge of going to the gym, moving, and if I stop, things
mm.
doesn't go well.
Yeah, it sounds like um, it's almost a mindset practice to be moving. Like the two are not mutually exclusive. There's exercise and there's mindset. They're actually connected. And for you to be in a good mindset, you needed to move your body. And in order for your body to grow into its potential, your mind needed to believe that it was possible. I love the question that you asked, how far can I go with exercise or a physical transformation? What a brilliant question. How far can I go? I love that.
Yeah, I think since when I started working out, I was like, I might be in the gym for 2 years. Am I going to reach what I'm aiming for? Past 2 years, and I was like, you know what? I can still improve some more. And it keeps you ongoing. You're always improving. Then suddenly something happened. You have to stop working out, and then you lose a little bit of you have improved. So you have to put forward again to reach back to that point, and it keeps on going, and it keeps you moving. It keeps you with a great mindset. It's kind of it. It gives you routine. It keeps you motivated, and that's what helped me to go like when I'm very stressed or when I have to, for instance, it helps me to brainstorm if I'm going for a run or just for a walk. I have to start moving my body to get all the thoughts together and get it sorted. Because
Mm.
if I just stay in front of the computer thinking about those things, they start being foggy. But if I start moving, things starts to be more clear.
Yeah. Raphael, I'm curious then, you've got such a following on social media. And I love your content. I think there's the humor that you have is just absolutely top notch. I love your humor. I think it's
Thank you
exceptional.
very much.
There's just something really beautifully sarcastic about it. It's just really good. I love it. You've clearly got your physical presence on social media through your transformation. And then even in some of the posts, you can tell that there is a strength of character and a strength of mind. All three of those coming together positions you as an influencer. And my mentor always told me that leadership is influence. You're a social
True.
media influence, and therefore I would call you a social media leader. People are following you for whatever aspect of your life that they find interesting, compelling, motivating. My question for you is, do you see yourself as a leader?
For a long time, I didn't believe I would be able to be honest with you. Yeah, it took me years to understand that I could have done it before, but I was too afraid of trying and I didn't have the chance to show and try it. Because when I was back in the farm, I'm the youngest. And for my family, the youngest doesn't know much about life at all. Yeah, they are never right. They knows nothing. The older one is always the one that know the most, and he's the leader, and the others just follow. So when I left, I had the chance to see, okay, I do have the characteristics to be a leader because I don't like to be told what to do. I have this in my personality that it got me really annoyed if I'm told all the time what to do. I like to plan what I have to do, and then if I need someone to give me support with something that I'm stressing out, I get them because they know what to do. So I get everything together. I do what I can do, but what I cannot do, I have someone that knows it and I can get their help. And I started seeing it as something that a leader has in their abilities. A leader has to be someone that the others look up for, you know. I have to give them perspective of how things should be done. I am your um, what can describe is the best. I can be the image for them to follow. I have to be the one that they want to follow, as well as the one that they can ask for support when they are struggling. At the same time, I know that I'm not a superhero and I can tell them someday I will rely on you because I don't know as much as you know. So we can have this exchange of knowledge. And during college, I was avoidant of being the one in front, like the leader, even though I was always very good on communicating and delegating tasks for my team. Every time that we had work on a team, they were always relying on me to see, oh, we are going to focus on you, on what we have to do, plan all the work, and you delegate for us what each one has to do, and then we all get together to you to see if it's working out and it's done. But at that time, I was working like that on college, but as a professional at work, I didn't have the opportunity to work this leadership. So I was afraid of, okay, maybe I'm good on it on college, like in academical set, but at work, there is something missing on me. And years later, I figured out that what was missing was facing my fears to show what I came for, and then I am interested and be in front of it and take the lead. Because every time that I was working, I was doing my job, I was asking what I needed, but I was just keeping it, okay, that's my job, I'm going to do my work, and that's all. And when you want to be a leader, you have to go beyond it because you cannot just do what is your job. You want to know a little bit more what is surrounding you, so you can grow. And those people that are surrounding you, they see you as a leader and you become their leader. Because you cannot just claim yourself, I'm a leader. Yeah. To be a leader, you have to be promoted from your peers. They have to see you as a leader. Your team make you the leader. Not you go there and say, I'm the leader, you just obey. That's not how it works.
Wow. Wow. That was so powerful. Okay. That was a good lesson in leadership right there. Rafael, I want to be respectful of your time. I know we're coming up on the hour, and I have I have 1,000 questions for you. You're clearly going to have to come back on the podcast because
Sure.
we didn't get as deep as I wanted to go. But I read in one of your quotes, or one of your posts, or else I heard you say a motto, and I'd love to know what this means to you. And I'm going to try to speak it in the Spanish dialect that I know. So if I abuse it, correct me. But I thought I read where your motto is cultive gentileza coa sorrisos. I'm curious, what is that motto? What does it mean for you, and why that motto?
Okay, Jason, just check. Is it from my bio?
It,
Is
it
this my phrase on bio?
okay. I can't remember where I got it. I just wrote it in my notes to talk about your motto.
Okay, could you repeat that phrase again? I think yeah,
Uh,
that's my
cul-
my line on
culti
Instagram.
cultive. I think I'm saying that. Cultive gentileza.
Cultive gentileza. Yes, you're doing great.
Yeah. Coja sorrisos.
Colha sorrisos. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cultive gentileza, colha sorrisos. The
that's it.
translation for it is you have to, okay, there is no direct translation to it, so I had to change it to make the context of it. So you have to show people, to give people that you're gentle. You have to be gentle to everybody. And then you can farm great smiles, good energy. So in order to get great energy from people, you have to give great energy. So be
Oh, wow.
gentle and
Wow.
get
Okay.
smiles.
So I hear you saying cultivate kindness, harvest smiles. Maybe if
Exactly.
I do
That's
the
the
English translation.
straight way. Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful, Raphael. I love that motto. I feel like your story is not over, that Raphael is just beginning. And I think the word that comes to mind when I hear the words you speak, when I see your presence on social media as a leader, I feel like you're becoming. That's the word that comes to my mind, that when you ask yourself the question, how far can I go? That's such a great question that keeps you moving farther and farther along a hero's journey of influence, of leadership, of real significant impact in this world. And Raphael, I just want you to know I see you. I see your journey. I see your character. I see your culture. Um, and I see your influence. I see your leadership. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
saying
Appreciate
yes to
it.
this interview.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I deeply appreciate it.
The Aesthetics of Leadership podcast, the look of leadership that is unmistakable.